good to be back. Sorta.
I know this isn't the usual video essay or theory.
We just wanted to let you know what was going on with our spring 2026 season.
Yeah, it's not really happening. We fell behind on that last video, so there really wasn't time to prepare anything for this season.
But don't let that get you down, because spring isn't going to be a total wash. Here's the thing. We may not have time for our own spring season, but there's still some spring anime to keep up with.
And manga isn't seasonal, so we can always talk about that. So we're gonna.
When we started looking at this season, we didn't see a whole lot that we wanted to cover. There were a bunch of big names going around, but they were all sequels to things we had never talked about before.
But we did spot a couple of things that'd definitely work for us. Personally, I'm watching Witch Hat Atelier. I'd always heard great things about the manga, and now I get it! It's so pretty! Some of the best art direction I've seen in a long time. There's also something kind of nostalgic about it. Maybe because I grew up with Ghibli films, and I can see those inspirations all over this. I also appreciate that it's more standard high fantasy instead of the low fantasy or lit RPG stuff that we've been getting for like the past decade. I haven't felt truly immersed in the fantasy of a world like this in a long time. I especially love the world building around how the magic system works, making it feel like a literal art form. I think the artist in me really appreciates that. Makes it feel like it's a series that has a lot to say about art itself and the journey an artist takes to improve their craft. It's really good stuff, and I'll talk about it from week to week in shorts.
As for me, I've been watching Akane Banashi, which, first of all, can we talk about how it's releasing on YouTube first of all places? Apparently after this first season of it, or whatever, the backlog is going to be added to one of the major streaming platforms. But putting up a major Shonen Jump hit on YouTube is crazy. Not that I'm complaining. And, I don't really have anything to complain about in the actual show, either. I hadn't been reading the manga, which is obviously an L on my part because I love the story so far. I especially like how it's progressing Akane's arc. It's having her hit a lot of the typical story beats you'd probably expect, but it feels like every time it gets to an outcome I'm anticipating, it pivots away from it. Like, I just knew we were gonna get that moment. Yeah, you know the one, where Akane would get all overconfident, then spin out, crash, and burn on one of her first performances. Then she'd learn her lesson. But no, never happens. In fact, she's performed at least adequately at every turn, never outright humiliating herself. And yet, she consistently feels discontented with the reception she gets or with her own performance. And seeing others perform only shows her how much more she has to learn. That isn't the only thing I like about Akane, though. I also can't get over the one really early moment from her where she's pleading for her dad's old mentor to teach her. There's something deeply identifiable in the way she explains how she hates it when people compliment her dad or say it's a good thing that he gave up on his passion to get a real job that allowed him to afford luxuries that Akane was perfectly happy and content without. Was it probably the responsible thing to do? Yeah, sure, but don't you dare compliment me by telling me that it's a good thing I gave up on my passion. Buddy, did you just blow in from Stupid Town? Why the hell would I want to hear that?
Yeah, man. Keep it to yourself. But one thing I won't be keeping to myself is how much I've been really enjoying the Spy Family manga ever since it came out. Admittedly, it's been pretty inconsistent for a while. Honestly, I started to feel like it was just sort of spinning its wheels for a bit there. But I've enjoyed a lot more of the recent stuff that's finally been hinting at more of Anya's backstory and whatever's going on with the Desmond plot. Even if a lot more of the focus has been on her little school misadventures. Of course, Yor is still being Yor, and I love her, so I'm also glad whenever she gets something to do. But lately, a lot of that seems to be more centered around her trying to be a better mom and partner. And I've liked getting to see her dynamic with Lloyd slowly evolving.
On the subject of evolution, Alien Headbutt. Yes, that is a manga currently running in Shonen Jump. Yes, I am reading it. And yes, it's as wild and ridiculous as it sounds. It only hit the double digits a short while ago, so there aren't a ton of chapters yet, but I somehow already feel like I'm falling behind. It's that blisteringly fast. That said, so far it's really just been kind of a raucous good time, and that's it. I'm gonna keep following it, but I honestly don't know how long I'll be able to talk about it and have new stuff to say about it. The story is I question its longevity if it's not gonna get any deeper than this. Right now it's reading a lot like Fast and Furious, but instead of driving, it's wrestling. Also, aliens and JoJo poses. I'll see what happens when I start talking about it week to week.
Alien headbutt. And they say there's nothing new under the sun.
I know, right?
But it's not the only super fast one in SJ these days. I've also been reading Kinoto's Magic. I wouldn't say it's moving that fast, but some things are developing super quickly, while others are sort of taking their time. I know a lot of shonen manga, especially Shonen Jump titles, are criticized for being kinda slow, but this one feels like it's taking a page from Black Clover's book. Eh?
God damn it, Rila.
You're no fun. But yeah, Kinoto's Magic is definitely moving along pretty quickly through all the setup and stuff. And, narratively, it kind of feels like it's also smashing those Black Clover influences with My Hero Academia, which is definitely a choice. I mean, it's even got the whole using your full potential breaks your body thing going on. I'm not totally sure what to think about it yet, honestly. It looks great, and it has a pretty charming sense of humor. But as far as what that story's actually trying to be about, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll get a little bit more invested with more chapters.
But if you want to be invested pretty much right away, then I think Ichi the Witch is doing everything right. It has a strong hook, great chemistry between the main cast, and, I mean, come on, man. It's Cardcaptor Sakura, but a guy, in the most Shonen Jump way imaginable. I'm not totally current on it yet, but I'm really digging it so far. I'll drop a proper recap video on it later, then start covering it week to week. Look forward to that.
And more, because we'll be back to full episodes in the summer!
Those episodes are already being written, and the official comeback is going to be a return to something we haven't done in a long while.
What might that be? Well, I guess if you want to find out, you'll just have to remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified when the time comes.
And if all else fails, you know the line by now.
Thanks for watching!
Keep up the awesome, and you better
Stay tuned.